My name is Swapan Seth and you're watching Sethoscope. Delhi is one of my favorite cities. I live in Gurgaon, which is why going to Delhi is always very special for me. And when I go to Delhi, I invariably stick to a routine in terms of the places that I want to go to, restaurants that I want to eat in. Typically for me, I start off from Gurgaon early in the morning and I drive up to this smashing restaurant called Kaleva, which is in Gold Market or thereabouts. And Kaleva has some amazing aloo puri and some kachoris, which I love to tuck in. It's extremely hearty, bathed in ghee and full of all kinds of sins, and I like to indulge myself by having one of those things, which I invariably wash down with a tall glass of lassi. And after which I'm pretty much ready for the day, and Delhi has some of my favorite bookstores. There are two that I particularly like to go to. One is a bookstore in Meherchand Market called CMYK. Fantastic books on art, on design, and you know, a lot of fantastic photography books. They also have a very eclectic collection of magazines. After which I go to another absolutely small and hole-in-the-wall bookshop in Priya Cinema Complex, a bookshop called Fact and Fiction. It stays away from your typical bestsellers. Of course, it stocks them, but doesn't really encourage you to browse through the typical books that you would see in the many bookstores that dot the landscape of Delhi. After which the watch invariably points towards lunch, and lunch is actually all the way in Connaught Place, once again in an old restaurant whose fortunes have been revived by a younger generation, but a restaurant called Embassy, which has the most outstanding dal meat that one can lay one's teeth on. And along with the dal meat, I invariably order a plate of egg curry, which is divine, and that, along with some tandoori rotis, is really what makes up lunch for me. And after lunch, I kind of devote some time to art galleries, and the art galleries that I really like going to in particular there is one called 7 Art Limited, which is in GK2, and 7 Art, which is run by a friend of mine, actually showcases work by some of the most upcoming artists in the country. Very edgy, very hip, very avant-garde kind of work. After I spend time at 7 Art, I then go to Lado Sarai, and Lado Sarai has this entire row of galleries, and in particular I like Latitude 28 and 320 as well, two very nice galleries which once again stock upcoming artists and a lot of fantastic new media kind of work which I like to look at. So after lunch it's invariably time for a nice relaxed pampering facial, and the place that I go to is actually the Oberoi in New Delhi. And after a very relaxing facial, I invariably go for a cup of tea, and of course my favorite tea store in Delhi is in Horse Khas village. It's called Elma's, and Elma's has the most wonderful range of teas, as well as some delightful scones and pastries and patties and puffs, which I'm delighted to kind of savor. And after that, it's invariably time to kind of head back home. But on my way back home, I kind of drop by at Rick's, which is this smashing bar at the Taj Mansingh. Once again, great atmosphere, great service, very relaxed, and very, very uber cool. And as far as dinner on weekends or on relaxed days is concerned, I tend to order in, and the choice is really between two fantastic home delivery options that I believe exist in Delhi. One is the most amazing biryani, very, very fragrant, dry, delicious, made by a lady called Mrs. Naseem. Or it's a nice bowl of khawswe put together by this astounding restaurant called the Burmese Kitchen. After which it's generally just a bunch of books and magazines which I pick up on my way from Delhi into Gurgaon. And that's pretty much how I would spend an absolutely relaxed day in Delhi.